Hello and welcome back. Well, it is time to take a look at the Cynabal. This is, I think, my third or fourth faction cruiser so far. And well, first I have to say something about the ship's appearance. This is definitely not the prettiest ship in the game. It is actually the opposite. It might be one of the ugliest ships in the game, but I am sure that its performance will compensate for its physical appearance. But overall, I think that from all the faction cruisers, this ship might have the highest DPS. And well, let's quickly take a look at the ship's characteristics, and after that I'll show you the fit, and of course after that I'll take the ship out and well, we'll see how it will perform. Alright, well, the roll bonus will give you plus 50% warp speed, plus 50% warp acceleration, plus 5 seconds damage control activation time. The advanced medium cannon operation bonus per level will give you plus 5% medium cannon damage, minus 5% medium cannon activation time, and the advanced cruiser command bonus per level will give you plus 7.5% medium cannon tracking speed and plus 7.5% on accuracy, which is good. And so far those are some very good bonuses, and I definitely can see the DPS on the ship being very high. So far I have most of these skills maxed out. I am working on the expert skills for the cannons, and well, we will see how much DPS I'll have in the end. This ship has 1 drone, 5 high slots, 3 medium slots, and 5 low slots, 3 weapon rigs, and 3 engineering rigs. Overall, its shield, armor, and hull is balanced. You can choose whichever tank you want. In my case, I still prefer shield. The damage control also works quite well on this ship, and for PvP it will be a very interesting build. Overall, the rest of the specs are pretty decent, and they are very similar and comparable to the rest of the faction cruisers. Well, time to show you my fit, and I'll show you actually several ways on how I decided to fit this ship. At the moment, 784.33 cold DPS with the autocannons on this ship, which is a good number. It will be a lot higher once I finish up with the expert skills. The medium autocannons so far did perform quite well. It is a very powerful weapon. They have short range, high rate of fire, and they have high damage per hit, which is a very good combination for this ship. In the medium slots I have dual webifers and 1 target painter. The dual webs are there to slow down enemy ships, and the painter is there to increase the signature radius of the enemy ship, and of course that means the damage and the amount of hits is going to be increased. Marks and hammerhead for the drones so far was working quite well, and the hammerheads are very powerful drones. A medium afterburner in the low slots with dual C-type gyro stabilizers. I have 1 shield booster and 1 adaptive invulnerability field. These 2 are for defense, but you can swap them out if you like. You can swap out the shield booster with a damage control, and of course you can swap out 1 webifer with a scrambler. This is the PvP fit that you can go for. Of course you can replace the invulnerability field with any other module that you like, and of course you can replace the damage control if you want, but so far the plus 5 seconds on the damage control will help this ship out a lot, and well, those couple seconds can be decisive in some battles. Now the dual gyro stabilizers will give me a active DPS, I think around 12,000, and that's going to be very interesting to test out. Of course you can put a reactive shield hardener and a disruptor if of course you need these 2 modules, but for PvE I like to use the dual gyro setup with the invulnerability field and with 1 shield booster. Instead of the autocannons, for missions you can use artillery. I prefer artillery in storyline missions because you are going to have at least 30 to 40, even 50 kilometer range with these weapons, and you can snipe enemy ships with these weapons quite easily. They have very high alpha damage. They have 10 seconds, a 10-second cycle, in my case 7.37 seconds. That can be a problem if you are targeting smaller targets, but that's why I have dual webs and a target painter. Those 3 modules, or those 2 modules, will improve the accuracy of these turrets. And well, you also can go with this current fit, with the invul and with the reactive and with the shield booster. Those modules will work really good for missions. And well, let's quickly demonstrate the potential of this fit. Now first, the DPS on the autocannons. 1186.30 DPS. Not a small number, might be the highest DPS on any faction cruiser at the moment in the game. That's why the Cynabal is so good. It has crazy DPS. This ship can melt most of the ships in seconds. A fleet of these ships can be very deadly, and well, I can definitely see why people are afraid of these ships. As for the artillery, almost 600 DPS with the artillery. Of course, keep in mind they have very good alpha damage and they can one-hit most frigates in missions. That is the fit that I'll be using on this ship for the storyline missions, mostly because I don't want to be near those interceptors and destroyers that can carry webs and disruptors. The dual webs and the target painter will make shooting those ships a lot easier. And well, time to test out this ship in action. Now this is I think it might be a tier 8 mission, or it might be a tier 8 storyline, I kinda forgot. I have my autocannons with me, with the dual gyro setup, just to demonstrate how quickly this ship can destroy enemy ships. Now the autocannons don't have much range. You can use them at 20 to 25 kilometers, but above that don't expect them to hit. I orbit at 10 to 8 kilometers with these weapons. They are perfect at dismantling almost all ships that I was shooting at. So far, definitely I am impressed with the ship's DPS and with the ship's overall combat performance. At the moment, it does have twice the DPS of my Phantasm. On my Phantasm I had around 500, 600 DPS. With this I have almost 1200, which is a good improvement. And once I have my skills maxed out for this ship, I expect around 1500 DPS, and of course we will see. That is once I finish up with the expert skills, because all of the advanced skills should be completed by now. And as we can see, the autocannons do thermal on shield, and I think they do explosive or kinetic on armor. Thermal is a good damage type. Thermal is what's kind of... Thermal doesn't like any shield or any armor or any hull. It is the to-go damage type in most cases. And so far the ship has been doing a very nice amount of damage. It will be interesting to see how much ammunition will change the game. If ammunition will either add more DPS, either add more range, more tracking in some cases, and of course I am mostly interested in the increased damage to the enemy ships. Can't wait for that to happen. Okay, and this ship is going down. Very decent damage and a very high rate of fire on these turrets. I can get, in theory, this ship to shoot at under 1 second, but I did go with the increased damage. Of course, that is one way to increase the overall ship DPS. Okay, let's quickly shoot down this Celestis. Now, if you're wondering, am I going to fly this ship for PvP? Well, its DPS would go to waste if I don't use the ship in such situations, so I think I will use it for PvP. Definitely will have to test out that DPS on a player. But so far, if you're aiming for a ship that has very high DPS for missions, you can use it, but keep in mind its tank is a little bit lower compared to the Phantasm. The Phantasm is also, well, not slightly faster, but I think it is a lot faster. This ship doesn't have any afterburner bonuses, while the Phantasm has bonuses on afterburner and of course on lasers. But this ship has one more turret, and that one more turret is delivering a very decent DPS advantage over the Phantasm. While the Phantasm is overall very good for missions, and it might be the best faction cruisers for missions, the Cynabal is one hell of a ship for PvP. And of course you can also use it for missions if you like. But you'll have to be a lot more careful with this ship in missions, because it doesn't take a lot of hits compared to the Phantasm. Gila can be good. I like the Gila. It has very good range, very good drone DPS, very good missile damage. And I think Stratius will be coming soon. I'll fly that ship. Ortus will be coming soon. I'll definitely fly that one as well. Ashimo is perfect for PvP, not good for missions. So I'd place the Cynabal between the... I think it's actually in the middle. It's good for PvP and good for PvE, but you have to be careful in both cases. Might be a little bit better for PvP because of its amazing DPS, but you can use the ship in both scenarios. So far it's delivering a very good performance, and that's why I absolutely love this thing. Right, let's engage the next wave of the ships. Very soon I'll of course jump on the storyline missions with the artillery. Will be very fun to see those turrets in action. Very high rate of fire. Actually, I think the rate of fire on this thing is a little bit higher than on my Phantasm. Very interesting. And it also is doing a lot more damage. So seeing a Cynabal fight with a Phantasm will be interesting. I saw a lot of Cynabals shooting down Phantasms, mostly because these ships definitely are more suitable for PvP than a Phantasm. But so far I am actually having fun with this ship because of its very high DPS. That's what I'm all about. I'm all about that high DPS. I absolutely love ships with high DPS. That means the battleship that I might take will be it might very well be the Macariel. I don't know. We will find out hopefully soon. I did hit tier 8. That means I'll have to fly around with the sniper cruisers. I think they will be interesting. Stabber Sniper will be a very interesting ship to fly. Very curious about its range, about its DPS. If I can deliver even similar performance to this, I will be happy with that ship. Because the price difference between a Stabber Sniper and this is enormous. Although, very surprising actually, this ship is cheaper. It is the cheapest faction cruiser that you will find, while the Phantasm is definitely the most expensive one. And for its price, this ship definitely performs really well. It performs actually fantastically well. Alright, well, I think this might be the last wave. So far, I have been melting all of these enemy ships with ease. These turrets are definitely doing a scary good job at shooting down all of these enemy ships. Definitely clearing these missions very quickly. Very satisfied with its performance and with its DPS output so far. Its velocity 1.3 km per second is not that bad actually if you think about it. It is pretty quick. Can be a lot faster with a MVD. A dual propulsion fit will work on this ship. A fit where you place a MVD and a afterburner on the same ship. So that will be fun to test out. I think that will be my PvP setup, but of course there is still time for that. I still have to test out a lot of things, and that will be fun. Ooh, that was a big hit on those frigates. The dual webs and the target painter allows me to actually orbit around these small ships without much of a problem, and it actually allows me to hit them without a problem, which is very good. That is very important for missions as well as PvP. If you're able to orbit a smaller target and hit it properly while going at high velocity, that's definitely a huge plus for me. Definitely a huge plus for me. And now to shoot down those cruisers, and after that I think the mission should be completed. Overall, very good performance with this ship. And one thing that I will have to change is definitely the target painter. I need the highest and most expensive target painter that I can find. I forgot how pricey they are, but I think they are very pricey, and with a bit of luck I might actually get a module like that from a storyline mission. Of course, doing storylines is risky, and I would like to have a ship that can replace this ship for storylines. Stabber Sniper might be a very good choice for that. I'll have to test out that ship. If you fly the Stabber Sniper, please tell me how that ship performs. I'm very curious to know. Alright, then let's shoot down this Thorax Guardian. I don't know if I'll fly Guardians soon, or should I say soon enough, because the Guardians can be, well, they're not a ship for me. They are mostly defensive ships for fleets. I am mostly the DPS pilot that does, well, I mostly like to do damage, but if I have to fly those, I'll definitely do. Will definitely be very interesting to test them out and to fly around with these ships. But just look at the design of this Cynabal. I don't know, man, but this ship doesn't look, it looks kind of, well, it's not the prettiest ship around, definitely. Very odd design choice, I must admit. If we take a look at the Dramiel and at the Macariel, those two ships are absolutely beautiful. The Dramiel is one of the prettiest frigates that you can find, and the Macariel is also one of the prettiest battleships in the game. They both have very nicer designed hulls. And then we have the Cynabal that is, well, oh man, this ship is definitely ugly, okay, compared to the other angel cruisers, or should I say not, compared to the other angel ships, not cruisers. This ship is ugly, and that is a very weird design choice. If they followed the same design principle, this ship should be looking a lot better than it is looking right now, but I think the ship does have a hidden beauty in its performance and in its DPS. It is absolutely amazing in that perspective, so can definitely forgive the ship for its design, but its DPS and its performance so far has been absolutely amazing. And now I am now using the artillery. Now this is a fit that focuses on maximizing the damage output on these guns. So far works quite well. It is kind of risky, I'll have to admit, because you don't have a reactive shield hardener, or you don't have any dual invulnerability fields. I have only one field and one shield booster and two gyro stabilizers. That ensures good DPS and good auto damage on the ship, but if I get caught, then I might not survive. So I have to be very careful at taking range. I have to be very careful at maintaining distance, and I have to be very careful at focusing on the primary targets, because in this case having the right primary target is one thing that you should definitely make sure you nail every time, because those interceptors can orbit around your ship at close range and they can be a little bit difficult to hit. Of course, I have defenses against those, dual webifers and a target painter, but of course I would not like to rely on those modules constantly, so I like to rely on skill mostly, and that means keeping those ships at range and picking them off one by one. That's one of the best ways that you can use to clear these storylines, and as you can see, one hitting these frigates is definitely possible. Now they have MVDs, so while they approach you, it will be very easy to hit them. But once they start orbit close, then that's where the problems start to rise. So be very careful if you are using this fit. In theory, I should be able to reach 70 kilometers with these turrets, and for that to be a reality, I have to max out my skills, but 30 to 40 kilometers at the moment is more than I need to eliminate those enemy ships, and so far I'm doing a good job clearing them. It feels very weird to come to use artillery after you use autocannons, because you will be enjoying the high DPS more on the autocannons than the alpha damage on the artillery. That is at least in my case, but artillery is a lot safer, and well, it does good alpha damage, so if you want a ship with good alpha damage, then I think the Cynabal is there. Of course, Tornado and the other assault battlecruisers will have a lot more alpha damage, but their tracking will be a lot worse and the cycles are going to be a lot longer. That might be a problem in some cases, so in those situations you are definitely going to need at least 1 or 2 webs and a target painter for the smaller targets, of course, if they get too close. Okay, well, so far sniping is working quite well here, hitting that Algos at 45 kilometers, but I'll be going at 40 kilometers. Orbiting with the afterburner works really well. You can hit targets if you orbit at 30 kilometers with the afterburner on with the artillery. That kind of did surprise me, but at the same time I have a target painter, so it is not as surprising as you might think. And I am slowly but surely going wave through wave. Now I am shooting down this elite battlecruiser. They can be a problem. Usually the non-assault battlecruisers that are elite might be a problem. They have very good tracking, they have very good DPS, and you should eliminate those as quickly as you can. They also have disruptors, scramblers, webs, and all of those nasty modules that can be very problematic, so be careful. And after I eliminate that ship, I'll have to go and eliminate that cruiser. That cruiser might also be a problem, so again I'll have to be careful what I'm doing. I don't want to get caught in a crossfire here. If I do, then that might be problematic. Now the ship's capacitor is something that is interesting. It is missing 3000 gigadoules compared to the Phantasm that has, I think, 7 or 8000 gigadoules. This has only 4.4 thousand, so the shield booster will not run as long as on the Phantasm, so you have to rely on the speed. In this case, you will have to rely on the speed on these ships a lot more than on the shield booster, and of course you can rely on the shield hardeners. They also work quite well, but speed is your best friend in these situations. If they can't hit you, then they will not do damage to you, and if they don't do damage to you, then you don't have to worry about anything. But of course, again, be careful around the fast elite ships, and in some cases even the ordinary normal ships can be a problem because some of them also carry disruptors and webifers. Again, be careful on those. They can be very, very dangerous, especially for ships like the Cynabal. You can make the ship be tanky, but I think that would waste the damage potential that this ship can have. That's why I did go full on DPS and full on damage on this ship instead of tank. And so far it's been working quite well. Speed tanking is, I think, one of the best ways that you can clear the storylines with, of course, besides ranging the enemies and besides drones. Speed tanking is also, I think, very good, very efficient, very skill based actually. And manual flying is going to be something that I'll be practicing a lot, because manual flying, manual orbit is going to be a lot more accurate, a lot more efficient than the automatic one, especially for the Dramiel. Still learning how to fly the Dramiel, by the way, because that ship requires a lot of skill. Dramiel is very fragile, and if you get webbed, then the ship goes down. That's why I will have to practice manual flight. Okay, this elite ship went down. Well, so far so good. And the rest of these ships should be easy to shoot down, because these ships usually don't represent a problem. They don't have that much powerful weapons, and they also can catch me, so I should be safe till the end of the mission. Good damage output, very good speed, and with the dual gyros enabled, the DPS and the rate of fire will be increased just enough to shoot down the primary target in a couple seconds, and of course the damage output will be very nice alpha damage. Okay, on to the next primary, and I think this might be the last wave of the mission. One of the last waves, I think. Should not be more ships after I clear this, so that's a very nice surprise, very good news. Okay, shooting down that cruiser. I use the shield booster in short successions, because that's how I save up my capacitor as much as I can, and so far it's been working quite well. And let's shoot down that ship. In a couple seconds I'll be switching the next target, and I'll continue to do that until all ships on the field have been shot down. Looting will be fun. Like I said before, I absolutely love to fly fast ships with very high DPS. And well, that would be enough. That would be it for the Cynabal. A very nice ship, a very powerful faction cruiser with very high DPS, and so far I absolutely love this ship. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you next time.